So what happened was on the last time I was telling you about my guy, I walked away and he actually cut this.
Oh,
And it just blew up and almost killed him.
so
So I'm going to go up and I'm going to cut the line so we can safely work on this.
so where would you cut it from? All out.
Well, I'm going to cut it, but I'm going to cut it up there first to kill it.
Okay.
The only thing he did wrong is he cut it before I killed it.
Okay.
So I'm going to go up and cut the surface. And mind you, this is hot from deep in there.
Right.
So if we saw it was just on. So first thing I want to do is get these lines away from one another. Separate. I want some separation. See that? Okay, now I'll put my tape on here. Because what's going to happen when I cut this line, this side is still going to be hot because that's going out to the pole, right?
Okay.
So I want to always hang on to that.
That's the line going to the pole, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's hot right there. So I want to cover him up.
So now, if it's hot, why when you cut it, it didn't?
Because I didn't touch anything. I'm not grounded.
Okay.
All I did was just cut a wire.
Okay.
So now I got a tape. I can let it go. Okay. Same song, second verse. I want to get my tape on here. Get it started. I'm still watching what I'm touching. I don't want to touch nothing, right?
Because you don't want to be the conductor, right?
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to hold this. And I cut that. And now I want to take this up. Okay. Phone ringing, I don't care. I'm up here. The last thing we're going to do is cut this neutral. Okay, so now at this point,
It's done.
I'm safe.
Man, don't even bother. That's me.
Okay. So now at this point, I can do anything I want down there because I'm dead. I've cut it. Okay. So what I want to do now is get this service cable down. So if somebody hand me that green drill. Thank you.
Cut the log.
Okay, so
It's okay if that comes down if I were to go ahead and grab it.
right, it's
Okay.
dead. So I'm gonna let it drop.
One, two, three. So you hot right now?
No, I cut
To the
it.
pole first,
okay.
or
My
going
hot
to the
wires
pole?
are hanging right
Cut the
there.
one going to the Oh, pole okay.
And
Okay. Oh,
I got them taped
And then
up. So
everything else cut after that. So you want to cut all the everything hot coming in.
now let me show you guys something that I didn't like about what she has already. This neutral wire, whoever put that in, it's not real close, but it's still close, and I don't like that. I would prefer when you come in, come straight in. So you stay in the middle. All right, so now we got that. We're gonna undo our lugs. And this is why I brought another meter, because sometimes you can't get these loose. They freeze, you know.
What the hell happened to me? Why did it get dark? Or that's just me tripping. Oh, there it goes.
Okay, so we got that loose. Next move is to get the connector. Now remember how I told you we have to use the right things in the right locations? This connector is weather tight. See that big rubber seal in there? That's because we're using outdoors.
Could it be putty?
You can, but I don't do that. I still use duct seal, but I don't use it alone. So what I do is I always buy a new seal.
Okay.
You know, don't use the old one. You can use the old part, but just take it out and use the new seal.
Oh, okay.
Which should fit.
And what was that part called?
This is just the connector.
Okay.
Is that because it could get damaged at some point, or?
Yeah, you know, the seal rubber gets
Yeah.
old. It could. So since we're
best
doing
we
it, why not put a new seal in there? Okay. So the next thing we want to do is somebody hand me that gray wire over there, please.
Is that what you were talking about in class where when you get it, it's rolled up, it's a certain way that you can unroll
Okay,
it?
not so much that
Not
wire,
that, okay.
but the Romex, the indoor
Romex,
wire.
okay.
This right here, the summertime is your best friend because it makes it nice and it's pliable. If you ever do this in the wintertime, keep the wire warm because if not, this will crack. If you let it lay outside while you're working. So in the wintertime, let it run under your heat until you're ready to use it. Okay, so this is our weather head. We're just going to make up. So DPNL requires at least 2 feet of loose wire for the weather head.
Okay.
And that's this guy right here. Just got to get it opened up.
2 feet of loose wire for the weather head.
Right, so we put the wire through here. And this is what I mean by loose wire. This part. So I'm going to say that's about a foot.
Something for them to work with.
Yep. Now I'm going to give a little bit more because when you twist the neutral, it shortens up. Okay? So, hang on to that corner, please. Take your knife. And then you just score it. And be careful when you do this because,
You don't want to cut that around.
well, you don't want to cut yourself. But it's got this neutral wrapped around it. That'll kind of keep you from nicking the hot wires. But you can get a nasty cut to your body, to your person if you're not careful. Okay, so I just like to get all these little strings. And these strings, never pull them with your hand to try to break them off. They'll slice right through you. You cannot break them with your hand. You have to cut them. So I'll just give it a little trim. Try to make it look neat. Okay. Now this little guy here. Okay. So now when you get it to where you need it, let me have a screwdriver. We gotta tighten this up. Hey, how y'all doing? Tighten this up. Good and tight on each one. Okay, so then you unbraid your neutral. Now, when you do this, there's a trick to it. Now, hang on to this for a minute. I'll show you what I mean.
That's kind of smart. They do it like that.
We want all this wire to lay out front. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just gather it up and I'll push it down in that little groove like that. Then you get one black piece that goes in there first. Then you bend the black, you bend the red. Okay. And the other black piece goes on top.
On neutral first.
Yep.
Separate.
That's your weather head. Then the little cap goes on.
So what you have right here, this piece right here, is this what this is right here? This piece right there, or
Oh, the neutral?
yeah, the neutral.
Yeah, that's the neutral.
Okay.
Okay. So, I just want to get it twisted around so it's flat. Now, you want to hold that like that. So, I do this. And then what I do is take it like this and I just make me a little lever and wind it because you want it tight.
Oh.
Just like that.
Okay.
It works till you get down toward the end, and then you just kind of twist it, twist it, twist it, twist it. Okay. Then what I like to do is take my linesmans, and you guys are going to use these more than any tool in your bag, linesmans.
Right.
And I want it even, so I'll just cut. I'll cut the end. Now nice and even. Okay.
What is this made out of?
Aluminum.
Aluminum.
So I'm gonna.
Those are the metallic, whatever you
Yeah,
said.
these are machine screws.
Okay.
No drywall screws. And I'm gonna get my straps. So, and that's one reason why I wear this vest. It's got pockets.
Right.
And it's high vis. Okay, so this is where my guy and me work together, whoever's on my team. I'm gonna start up the ladder. I get to a certain point, pass it off. Now DPNL says that this cannot be lower than this.
Oh.
So this time I'm going to raise it up to about right there. So what I do is I'll take it and I'll stick it in my ladder to hold it so I can get the screw started. Okay, and then what I'll do, whoever's working with me, I call it eagle eye. But in her case, I don't want to make new holes, so I'm going to kind of swing my service cable over, and whoever's on the ground, hold that cable up. There you go. Take the weight of it off for me. I'm going to put a little bend in it. See that? Because I want my weather head to be straight up and down. And I'm putting new straps. I'm not using the ones that were there. And I can actually go in the same hole.
You're going to follow the same path that is on there?
Right.
Okay.
Just so we don't.
Have to redo it.
Right.
Got paint and everything.
And it'll look the same.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, when you're running this, you want to make sure you're running it in an angle that's going to come straight down instead of zigzaggy or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
You can make it like that because we have a slanted roof. But yeah, you want to try to come as straight as you can. You use less wire that way. So I'm just going to drop that down a little bit so I can move over here. Good footing there. Okay, so at this point, you can see kind of how it's going. And do whatever you got to do to manipulate the wire to get it flat. Now the reason why I put the screws on the bottom is so the weight is going against the screw and not against the clamp. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
that on the clamp itself? I think I see some writing.
Yeah, it's just the part description.
Okay.
And it's a part number. So when they
It's a butterfly.
It was coming in hot. I didn't know what it was.
I don't know.
I was like, man, what's that?
It just something came up out of nowhere.
So you can even start the screw in the clamp first, and then put your wire under it. Okay, so at this point, I don't want to strap it no more because I got to get it in the box before I strap it. The last one. So I take a measurement, just a rough guess, and I just get a good look. I know I need to get down to there.
That's angle.
I got all this wire, so I'm not going to worry about how much I use. And I'll just cut off.
Man, what are those things called?
Ratcheting cutters for cutting wire. Okay. So then I'll take this off. It's easier to do this with this out. We'll slide this up the wire, get a wire little bend into the box. Bring it back. Get that rubber firmly seated before we start.
Like a gasket.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Just to seal it. Yeah, my box. Okay, so I don't like how that feels.
Incorporated.
Well, it's a different thread than the one that was in there, so that's fine. I'll just
Use that other.
use it on. I'll pull it out. Let that sit. That rubber's gonna hold that on there. Then we'll just take this guy out.
So instead of just using the rubber, you changing the hole. The only thing
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the whole connector in there. Take that out, and then just use the wire bar. See the thread is different. That thread's a little tighter, so that's why that one wouldn't thread on. See how that spins on now?
Okay.
It's the right thread pattern. So what I'll do is before I lock that in, I will get
Some clamp back on.
clamp on there. So got that on there, and I put a little duck seal on there. That's just a little extra to keep it sealed up. And this stuff really never gets hard or dries out. You'll see this around your air conditioner line a lot. And just kind of knead it a little bit.
Let's see what that looks like.
Is it kind of like wax rain,
Appreciate
type
it.
wax stuff?
It's kind of like putty.
Like say, buddy.
Got a bunch of that stuff in there.
So I just take it and just make a little
Loop the loop.
cone. So what you want to do is have it tight on the top and kind of flare it out at the bottom. Mhm. I just kind of make it look decent.
Yeah, this is what it is. It's in that.
You know, white.
Yeah. So it doesn't, I guess it doesn't. It's been there for years. It's still pliable.
Still pliable. Yep, that's what it's supposed to do.
You said it don't dry out or get harder.
I've seen it over like old
Years.
steel, yeah, years, but
Turn a little white and stuff.
yeah.
Same thing applies to here, huh?
Right now, one thing I'm gonna show you on this is that you notice one is black and one is red. Okay, that doesn't mean anything today for us, but it would mean something if I was running two lines in parallel, because I would want to make sure I don't cross the phases. So by this being red, I know this would be a red phase, this would be a black phase. So you would never put a red and black together or vice versa. So that's why they color them for phasing. But this is only one thing we're doing, and we don't have to really worry about phasing on this. But what I will do is, if I was changing this piece, I would put red with red and black with black, just for aesthetics. Okay, so we got that. So we just basically bend that back in there, get a rough measurement, take our line spins. Like I said, you're gonna use these line spins more than anything. Okay, now I know I'm good. I'll get some Deox. You have to use this on all aluminum connections.
Anti-corrosive.
Yep, anti-corrosion, a deoxidizer. So get it coated real good. Don't be afraid to use it. Inspectors love to see tons of that stuff. And then get that back up in there. The connector on there.
So the clamp this clips onto.
Yeah, it's got the neutral clamp.
Okay.
Now, if you notice, the middle clamps is different than the outer clamps. See, they got that little tip on there. Those are called bypass horns. So the purpose of those, if DP&L had to come out, let's say they had to take Chris' meter and work on it, they would clamp a wire from top to bottom on these bypass horns to keep her power on. It's not like she didn't pay her bill, so they're not cutting her off, they're just servicing her meter. That's what those bypass horns are for. So that's what they put them on there, and that's, you have to have them on there. That's a code requirement. So basically, I'm just going to look, kind of eyeball that, and what I'll do is I'll cut it a little long. I'll lay it in there. Okay, I see I'm a little long, so I'll come back and I'll just trim it a little bit.
Does it have to stick out or no?
No, you don't want it sticking out because you don't want it near the live parts. So that's good. That's perfect. And just trim. Now remember, when you trim this, you got to trim enough off so there's no insulation up underneath that screw. That won't do her no good if this screw is on the insulation. It can't make contact.
Right.
Okay.
So then we'll goop that up real good. And we'll lay that in there.
Did you say does it matter if the black or red is on either side?
No, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
No.
Talking about as far as connecting them back up.
So see, my wire's at the bottom, but it's not sticking way out. My neutral is dead in the middle. I can't get any closer or further from either side than the middle. So then I'll do the same thing over here. My first cut's always going to be long. I can cut it, but I can't stretch it. So I'll make a long cut. And look at that. That's perfect. That's perfect. Skin it. Just kind of go around it a little bit. You're not going to cut the wire. This is not gonna cut aluminum.
So you don't got to worry about nicking on this part.
No, no.
So how is it that the neutral wire, before you pulled it out, from what the last guy did, how was that
Oh, his
to
neutral.
the side?
Yeah, his was a lot longer and it was closer to this hot over here. It was closer to the right. I want my neutral to be in the middle.
Was that just like he had too much in there? Or
Yeah,
was it
too much in there and just kind of wasn't watching where his neutral landed. I mean, it wasn't, wrong, deadly wrong, but it was just getting close to, just if you can get it in the middle, put it in the middle.
Those meters, when you wrap a meter around, when it clamps around the wire, and you test the current or the
Let's test the amperage.
amperage, would that throw off the amperage or would not?
No, that won't hurt anything.
Okay.
It just so nothing touch. If you can keep it separated,
Gotcha. Looks good.
and
Yeah.
and that's what
You're
you want.
working with it, yeah.
Okay. So we got all that done. So now it's time to do the reconnect. And this is the part that we do hot and live that we have no chance for a second chance. So I'm gonna raise this up. Get some connectors.
That didn't even take long. That was like,
Nah, it didn't.
That was 15 minutes.
yeah.
Or 23 minutes. Exactly.
Hot as hell. Yeah.
23 minutes of straight heat.
Well, we should be charging for that too. We charging for heat. Yeah.
23 minutes of straight heat.
Well, I would just imagine if you want to do a job like this, but go into the
Attic.
attic.
Yeah,
So I
that's
see now why they say they would prefer to do it in the
a
winter.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do mine early in the morning.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Never know. Somebody might just jump out and just be like, oh, I need you to come out. All right. You got extra service fee.
Right.
Is that extra?
I charge you for
Charge
the
for the
heat,
heat.
lady. Right, umbrellas outside and everything.
Okay, these are called H-tap connectors. And that's what we use to do the reconnect. H-tap.
Let me get a quick photograph of all
We're going to clamp the wires together like that, and then we'll put these black covers over the hots.
H.
H-tap.
H-taps.
I'll use that. Okay, here we go.
Now you remember or you know which one coming in, because that has to be coming in and going out. That has to be right.
Yeah. Well, I can see what's coming in because my line's coming from the pole.
Okay.
And then
What's that tool you about to use?
this is the press. This is how I squeeze the H-tap.
Okay.
Oh, this is how I close
So
them
you
up.
need that.
Oh yeah. This is $1,500 tool right here, but it's worth every penny of it.
All right. You don't have that tool, you can't do no reconnect.
Okay, so
That's
if you want to stand over here, you get a better view of what I'm doing. I'm gonna hook the neutral up first, because the neutral is always the last to be cut and the first to be connected.
okay.
So you take the H-tap and you close it around one side.
So you basically just, it's like a splice.
Right.
Okay.
And this is the same thing DPNL do when they come out to reconnect your line. Exactly. Okay, that knife right there, can you give me that knife? It's
On top of the
meter.
box.
All right, thank you. skin some wire because we gotta have bare wire to hook up to. Okay, so far everything I've done, we've been super safe, but here's where it gets a little hairy. So I'm gonna move this neutral out of my way. I'm gonna grab a hot. Now remember, these wires are live.
Oh, no, that's fine.
So those, what you're doing right now, are they
Braiding it.
Okay.
She's braiding it back.
So it won't lose up.
Now, just so it's not dangling out midair. All right, so here once again, I got too much. I'm gonna cut this. Okay, don't let me hit, don't let me fall on you. Okay, now I'm in the hot zone. I'm going to cut this wire. Now, this is hot from the pole, so I'm watching what I'm touching. See that bare copper, that bare aluminum?
Yeah.
If I let go and that touch something metal, it's gonna be a kaboom.
Don't do that.
Or if it touch me, I'm gonna be down there with y'all.
Yeah, we're gonna have to call the ambulance after that.
So I keep one hand on that at all times, like a snake. You know how they always hold their head when they handle it? This is the snake. So keep this, and this is the head. So always handle that. I'm gonna put that on there. Put that on there.
Put the one that's not live in first, and then second.
Right. Or either way, it don't matter. The reason why I want to get a crimp on there, because I don't want this to pop out on me and touch something.
You gonna put the black cover on there after you do it?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I want to get enough crimps on there. I know I'm good and tight. I still got that snake in my hand, right?
Yep.
I ain't gonna let go. Now theoretically, I know the wire's stiff enough; it ain't going nowhere. But
Just to make a practice of being safe.
The wind don't blow.
that's right. I got my clap on there, so I'm safe on that one. That's one. Yeah. I still have the utmost respect for this part of the electrical job, because this is one of them things you can't never do it enough that you do all that.
Remain humble.
That's right. I'm gonna step down just so I can get a little bit better control, get a measurement. Yeah, don't let me get you with any of this stuff flying off. Close it up. The only reason why I do that one first, because it'll hold it. Because
Because it's going up.
Yeah, right. This one's coming down. So DPNL says you have to squeeze it at least 3 times.
Okay.
At least 3 times. So this is the part I give my ground man, ground person, the
Tool.
tool. Just to get it out of my hands. Okay, then I'll bring my,
You need one on the neutral?
No,
Okay.
that's bare. That's made to be open. But we got all three connected. Now, you remember, Carla, when I showed you when we first started, we had 251 volts. Okay, so now I'm reconnected. I want to make sure that I give her the same thing that she had before I got here. So let's take the meter out and let's see what we got. We got 250, 125, 125, and 124, thereabout.
Live.
We live. So we got each leg connected. I showed you both legs together. It's 250, and then I showed you each leg one at a time.
Can you
So-
do that one more time? I'm sorry, so I can see where you get the 250.
Okay, 250 is across both phases.
Okay. 1 and 2. Okay.
See, and then if I go from one to the neutral, that's 125. And then if I go from one other leg to the neutral, that's 124.
All right.
See, so in both of them
together.
both of them together.
Red and black is 250.
Okay.
So this is a 200 amp box.
This is a 100 amp service at 250 volts
How do we tell if it's a 100 amp service?
because of the meter socket and the wire size.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put the meter back in. Always make sure that main breaker is off, which we knew it was because she turned it off. And then we'll start at the bottom where it's not live, and always give it a touch, just because. And then push it in. And then we'll put the cover back on. Just like that. And then we'll put her lock back on. Just that part we won't film, but
Yeah.
this is all back together. You can actually turn the main breaker back on